All right, people, hold on. Oh, hold on. You know the drill here. Let me make sure we're actually going. There. Yeah, good. We're good. We're good. We're hold on. All right. And boom! We are rolling, folks. Another edition Beyond Average, Thursday, April 25th, 2024, as we are coming to you. I hope you're having a great day wherever the hell you are, whenever you are listening to this. Solo dolo tonight, as of right now. We got Tom Shattuck coming on the program momentarily. Got quite the conversation planned, folks. Don't you worry. But in the meantime, I figure we can just ramble on for a little while. We got, let's see, NFL draft tonight. If you cannot tell, I am in the spirit. We are going to talk to the Gus Bus in a little while, and he's going to check in from his draft party out in Minnesota. I don't know what the hell he's up to. I don't know what he has going on, but I'm very excited to hear from the Goose. We got Tom Shattuck joining the program. Hang on. What's up, Tom? How you doing?
Hey, great, man. How you doing?
Good, good. It's good to finally get you on here. Sorry about canceling last week.
Oh, not at all. Not a problem at all. So this is not the Beyond Average studio you're in right now. I like the set when you're all up in a big couch.
You like the official setting. You like the adult setting. Yeah, this is the little kid room.
Oh, you got to jazz this up a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, come on. All right, so tell me the story of Shattuck, because I really honestly don't know much about you. I know you host a radio show daily, right? I mean, tell me the first time you talked on a microphone, and then how you got here. Give me the in between.
Okay, so I was just effing around, screwing around in my 20s, kind of enjoying myself. I tried to get a rock band going, and that didn't work. And so I had this plan that if it didn't work, then I'd get into talk radio because I was a talk radio fan. So it didn't work. My band was not good, and I had no real drive anyway. Anytime we made any money, we just drank it away and whatever. So then,
singing? What was your instrument?
Guitar.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
and so this is in Boston, and so then I worked at hotels. That was my gig. So then when I turned 30, I started applying at EEI. Nothing at all. And then I got the receptionist job at Entercom, Boston, 2004, which was terrifying because I'm 30 years old and I'm a male receptionist
right.
at a place. So I'm freaking. I'm like, oh, Christ. But I promised myself that I would just commit myself to being like the best receptionist anybody has ever seen, be super helpful. I deliver stuff. I decided to deliver stuff into all the studios, like copy paper, whatever, just so I can get in there and peek around and like see EEI, the big show, and Dale and Holly back then, or it was Dale and Numi back then, and Jerry and John.
Right.
So I just busted my ass, and like a year in, they promoted me after I did some website stuff for them to executive producer. So I got promoted over like into RKO,
right,
like a little above all the producers, which was management. So anyway, I went from there to 96.9 FM Talk, which was you probably never heard of it. It was a good station, an FM talk station. And that's the first time I was ever on the microphone as a producer. And from there, the format flipped. It became a rap station. And shockingly, they didn't need me for that. And then in 2013, I went to the Boston Herald, started an online station there, Boston Herald Radio, where a lot of these guys who have like big gigs now were with us, where I famously tried to get a Minahan to join for free.
That's right. The famous lunch, right?
Yeah. I was sure that we'd get him too, because he was like, so available. I was like, after he left, I'm like, man, he's absolutely going to do this.
I've heard him tell the story. It's hysterical when he tells the story. He's like, "You're going to pay me nothing? What are you talking about?"
Oh yeah. But he was amenable to it then.
Yeah.
He left. He was like, the idea is that he would use us so that while EEI was stringing him along, that he could have it as like a bargaining chip, that he's still doing something and he could write for us, etc. And a lot of radio guys have been fired, so a lot of guys jumped at that.
Yeah,
including like Mita Perel. Mita was with us, and Jen Royal.
Yeah, right.
And a whole bunch of people. So eventually we did start paying people. So after the Herald thing was done, a big hedge fund bought us. Then I went over to I got into became a newspaper editor, which is a management position. I always hated management, so I kept getting management jobs,
Sounds all right.
And so, from there, I started to do hits on WTIC in Hartford, which is the talk station there. It's like the RKO, WRKO of Boston, but it's a much
Gotcha.
smaller market. And that's where I've been ever since. So
Yeah.
that is it. And
So
then a few years ago, I started my own podcast, Tom Shattuck's Burn Barrel podcast.
I was
And
just gonna ask you about that. That's with your wife, right? Is that the one with your wife, with Alice?
it is with my wife. It wasn't at first. I think maybe about a year in, she started coming on. She's a big like stats and analytics nerd,
Yeah.
and I needed that because other than that, I'm just shooting the shit, which is something. But I wanted somebody in there who was a big stats geek, so that you're getting a product, if people are
Right.
into that. And she's a voracious reader, and like I said, a big conservative. I'm a conservative guy, and
Right.
so and that's what we've been doing. And so we've built an audience. We make a little bit of money from it, and maybe this is the same thing with you. Well, you don't have kids, but it's also like a repository where I can get my thoughts down. So for when I'm dead, if my kids ever care, they can go and listen, and be horrified or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They'd probably be horrified, but that's nothing wrong with that, right? You
Yeah.
have some fun with Dad's old stuff. What's the dynamic off the air? Like, do you guys talk about the show? Is it like, hey, we're doing this today, or is it just kind of like who takes the lead on it? Are you taking the lead on the topics? Like, who sets the agenda?
I drive the show. There's some things, stuff that she wants to get to. Um, but it's definitely my show with her involved. Um, but we're always talking politics and culture, like in the house. That's
Right.
one of the things that we bonded over. She's a lot younger than me, so you know, we we needed to like do something that we do anyway. And talking politics and culture stuff, that has always been something we did. So it's just a natural to do it on the show. We're always sending each other, DMs of stories every day. I don't know. I assume that you and Christian do the same thing.
Yeah, not too much, to be honest with you. It's more of a like day of type of thing. Like not throughout the week, but like we also live with each other, so it's kind of the same deal where it's more conversation, not like sending each other stuff. It's more like, hey, did you see this today? Did you check this out? If you get a second. But I always thought, because I mean, you famously have talked about the Cancun trip, my breakup, and all that. I always thought it would be crazy to do a podcast with my girlfriend or significant other. That's why I had to ask, because I feel like the first thing that would happen would be right when the red lights, done, right when we're done recording, it's like, okay, so what was that? What the hell was that, or something? I don't know. I just feel like it would not go well.
Oh, you're totally right. When she first started as well,
Yeah.
I'd be talking and she's not responding to me.
Right.
And she's like, well, I'm getting these texts from work and something. And I was like, you can't fucking be here, but not really be here. That's worse. If you're not here at all, then I can deal with it. But you can't just be a physical person over there and me looking to talk to somebody. And we still, like, once in a while, I mean, that we work pretty good together now, but once in a while, it's like she's not missing, and I do it too. Like it's funny because I make it an issue when she's not listening, when I'm trying to say something, and then I'll stop the show like right there and say, can I have your attention? I'm sure it's not good, like content, but it's real. I'm like, I fucking need you. Like,
I need you here.
Well, I do it constantly when I'm bored, when she's doing her analytical stuff. I am just surfing away and I don't hear a thing, and she doesn't like call me out on it. So there's a double standard.
Right.
That's
No, I feel you there. I space out sometimes when talking, telling us, I'm just looking at him. Like, yeah, sure. And then right when I hear the dead air is when I know he's done, because I'm like, all right, whatever the hell you just said, I didn't get a word into it. But
yeah,
I want to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
But for you, you're the absolute alpha on the show. So if your mind needs to go somewhere to come to the next, content, stream, then that's fine. You're the boss on your show.
Yeah, I mean, I try to set it, I guess, the agenda and what we're going to talk about. But he doesn't. The good thing about him is he doesn't really he doesn't force anything. He knows he's in it for fun. He's not trying to be anything he's not. So I think it's a good dynamic we have going.
Yeah, that's good too, because I think a lot of people who aren't like, he's not a professional broadcaster, I don't think, right?
No.
A lot of people would try to overcompensate and like go right in with a bit.
Right.
Oh, I'm the guy who flies off the handle, or I'm the guy.
Yeah.
He must be just a
he's a Stern guy. Like he grew up listening to radio. He's a Kirk guy.
Oh, okay.
He knows kind of he knows not to be overdoing it. I think that's the worst thing you can do. But I want to ask you. You and Alice were talking about this on I think Burn Barrel. I think it was Burn Barrel. You had me and my brother Al were on KMS recently, and it was a very I guess controversial episode. There's Team Mick, Team Al. I want to know where you stand on all of this. Do you have a brother? Do you have any siblings?
I have an older brother, exactly.
Okay, so this is perfect.
Yeah.
This is perfect then. Yeah. So I want to know where you stand and everything. Whose side are you on? Do you see both sides? Just give me your, I guess, thoughts on the brother Al dynamic.
So I liked your brother. I think he's a likable guy, but he was absolutely, but you're not wrong for having red flags about him because he is sticking it to you left and right. I think that this shit having a review of how Mick's falling short with your mom, he knows that you sense that. He knows that you're getting that. It's highly fucking condescending and patronizing to be like, oh, I'm not saying that you're failing. I'm just saying, I mean, you could do so much better. Just call me an asshole. Like, just
say it.
So, and my brother has a way of doing that, or did when we were much younger. Now he's mostly just like a great uncle to all my kids, so it's different. And plus, we're old and like almost dead, so like all that shit is like there's no time. There's no time for our personal problems. But no, I definitely thought that Al he's really you, except he's got a better veneer about it.
Interesting.
He also, I think I found him also to be sensitive. And
very much so.
And he was that was a rehearsal to be on Kirk's show for him. Rehearsal. And that's why the stuff with your girlfriend, oh, you said she's gone because I saw her yesterday. That I thought unforgivable. What if she was there actually back in town? What if she was hooking up with somebody, whatever, and he just drops that on the KMS show? Now Kirk would of course love that content and appreciate Al forever for doing it, and it would probably get him a gig or at least more time in the show. But like, is it worth it? Is it worth it to fucking devastate your brother completely?
I don't know, Tom. I mean, he thinks it is. He clearly thinks it is. I like people might have thought that was a bit in the moment. Like I was so caught off guard when he said that. I was like, what are you talking about? Like I think I said yes, no. I didn't even know what he said. I was like, what are you even saying? And then I was like, oh, and then I was like, so you're bringing this up on the Kirk Minahan show. And that's when I was kind of like, all right, I just got to let this go. Because I was going to freak out for a second. But
well, it's interesting because I thought you were like very like secure and calm at that moment, and at other moments you're oversensitive and insecure, but not at that moment. I thought, well, he must really have it locked down with his girlfriend, where you're just in a place where that's not an insecurity. But then
that's just over and done with for me. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with things.
7 years over and done with.
I mean, we've broken up before. Like we broke up probably like 3 years ago. But yeah. I mean, it was I don't know, this time I think it's just over and done with, and it was a long drawn out process too. I mean, I've talked about it ad nauseum, but 3 months of like breaking up, not where there's like nothing really wrong happening. That's kind of tough. I mean, those conversations over and over again where you're like, what are we doing? Where are we going? It's just like, I got to the point where I'm like, I'm good with this. What are we doing? Just make a decision. Yeah. That's it.
But it's got to be terrifying because, you start dating her when you're 21, right?
Yeah. She was 21. Yeah. Like 22, 20. Yeah. Right around then.
But you date her as like a really young kid, and now you're almost 30, and now you're starting from scratch.
It's weird.
I remember having girlfriends too, and like thinking, I can't believe it. We're so close. In like 2 years from now, we're going to be strangers in a hallway in a supermarket saying, oh, hi, how are you, Liz? Good. How are you? It's like, I know it's not Liz, but Jess, right?
No, yeah. But no, I know what you're saying. Like,
I don't even mind to a lot of people to think about that.
Oh my God, that's terrifying to me because I don't have that with anybody else. Like I have ex-girlfriends, but they're for years and years and years ago. So it's like, I wouldn't, they're almost like high school friends. So it's just like, hey, how are you? Like, there's no awkwardness. Now if I saw her, I would be, hey, what's going on? Yeah, that's so weird to even think about. You're right.
It's because she's also the repository of so much intimacy and so many memories for the last years. And those are all going away now. They just get deleted unless she brings it up somewhere. It's like losing a parent. I mean, it's not as bad, obviously, as losing a parent, but when you lose a parent, one of the things that hits you is that all that stuff, all that thought about me, all those memories that like my dad had about me, those are all fucking gone.
Yeah, completely.
And it's like so cold, but it's like that's just what it is.
It's truth. It's the reality, though, right? Yeah. I mean, that's you're 100% right. I don't. I'm sure there's gonna be. There's been times where I'll think about it during the day, but for me, I think I'm just like I can't dwell on things. I don't know. I don't do well if I do that. So
That's
for her,
remarkably, like, emotionally healthy of you. For a guy who can be volatile, that is really healthy.
yeah, I think that's one of the good things I have going for me mentally, but one of a few things, not a lot. Um, let me see here. I wanted to ask you. This is a little bit of a side topic here.
Yeah.
I know you said you conservative radio show and all that. Can you tell me what's going on in the world as an uneducated idiot? Can you tell me what is happening? Are we in World War III right now? Are we about to blow up? And is Israel like taking over the world? Just tell me what's going on, Tom. I'm being serious. Just tell me everything.
The world. Israel's not taking over the world.
Right.
Israel is trying to exist. Somehow they're burdened with having to take care of a fake country that was manufactured by a British mandate called Palestine, which is something that was only made up after World War One. It was essentially a British project protectorate. And because the Jews were so persecuted, they were spread all over the world, didn't have any homelands, and kept getting holocausted. The UN got together essentially after World War II and said, "Here, Jews, you can have your original homeland back," which which they've been in historically for thousands of years, where the Muslims have only been there 1,000 years, and they're trying not to let the Muslims kill them all the time. So when October 7th happened, and the Hamas went in and raped and murdered and tortured kids and children, whatever, the IDF went in there and bombed the crap out of them. And it's not the start of World War III, because 20 years ago, a bunch of other Arab nations would have attacked Israel. Now they're doing business with Israel, and they're like, okay, well, we're looking
We
the
don't
other
give a shit. Yeah, we don't give a shit.
No,
It's kind of like everybody now.
The Ukraine thing is, you can get drafted too, Mick. Well,
no, I got Crohn's. No. I got the Crohn's disease. Come on, I got maybe. I don't know. I feel like
Mick, the military is getting more woke, and they want more people with disabilities in there.
Fuck! Don't say that. Do you think I would last 5 minutes in the military? Are you kidding me? I would be toast.
You might be a great soldier. You might be one of those guys who does well in traumatic situations, who doesn't see the chaos, who thrives on it.
I think I could be a good medic, you ever seen Band of Brothers, that medic episode? I forget what it was, when they're in the woods and he's helping everybody with the morphine. That would be me, just stabbing people left and right with the morphine.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the Battle of the Bulge, I think. The woods episodes, and this is neither here nor there. Just but about how sucky war can be.
Yeah,
I had my dad's uncle was in the Battle of the Bulge, in towards the end of World War II as well. And he came home with a stab wound, which the family feels he did himself.
No.
Yeah.
False. I don't even know what you'd call that. That's
no. I mean, a lot of soldiers, it's fucking 30 below, and you're getting shell shocked, and the Germans keep bombing the crap out of you, and you're cold always. As an American GI, you've been out when it's been 10 below, and you're like cold to the bone. Imagine being that for months at a time. For during a standoff in the winter where nobody can move, nothing can move, and the Germans have the skies, so they can just bomb you. You just got to take it. I don't.
Yeah, no thanks.
I don't know that I'm better than that.
No, yeah, I think I'd be the guy bailing. I'd be out of there faster than anybody. Are you kidding me?
So are you worried at all about that there could be World War? I mean, you're into sports, right? You got playoffs out.
So I said I am an idiot for sure, but I try to follow this kind of stuff and just keep up with what's going on. But I haven't been recently, and that's why when the whole Iran launched a missile and I saw you tweeting about it, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm going to get Shattuck on this week so he can educate me. But I'm more just I'm not going to say I'm concerned. I don't wake up every day thinking, oh, are we going to get bombed or are we going to get into a war? But I do, as like a 28-year-old, I wonder what's the world going to look like in 10 years. I definitely think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know where do we go from here? Things have gotten so crazy. What's 10 years look like?
Well, look at these fucking idiots in these colleges now who are all in for Hamas, and they're terrible, Mick, because they're all in for Hamas, big tough thing. They're taking over the schools and the quads, etc. And then when the cops go in there, all these freedom fighters were wearing the Yasser Arafat tablecloth thing over their heads. All these American rich college kids.
Yeah.
bitch and moan when the cops roust them, and they say, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, no!" and they fall to the ground and they act as if they're being victimized. It's like I'm Gen X, so I'm 50, so we were fuck ups like every other bunch of 20-year-olds. We weren't like dishonorable pussies like that. That is like ridiculous. If you
Yeah.
if you try to sucker punch a cop and they wail on you, you had it coming.
You
Like
deserve it, right?
yes,
Yeah, absolutely. Or even if you're throwing shit at like police and stuff like that. Like I don't that to me growing up, that wasn't like even controversial thing. I was like, yeah, if you do that, you'd expect to be hit in the face with something like that. That's how it works.
yes.
I don't really know where that started becoming like racist or unfair and all of that. It's like no,
And I get people, black guys, who call me on my show and say, "Hey, you don't know what it's like with police brutality. You don't know what it's like to have the talk with your son about what to do if you get pulled over." And it's like, yeah, my dad never had to talk with me because there was never any chance where I was going to go after the cop's gun or fucking try to fight him or run away. It's like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's different. Like I think it's different today than it was back then, in the sense of like kids now have like a heightened sense of like, oh, like police are out to get us, and that's kind of like the narrative that's pushed. And I feel like there are a lot of young kids that fall into that, where they're like, oh, like if I get pulled over, like I am, and there are definitely some cases that like a person of color is more at risk at times, and I'm not going to get into all of that, but like there are some individual cases you can look at, but like at a whole, I don't think police are out to get people and they're trying to kill people when they pull them over. I think that's pretty safe
no,
to say.
no, they just want to get home.
Right.
And then stuff escalates because unfortunately you got a guy like George Floyd who's resisting arrest. I mean,
Yeah.
that should have been over. He probably would have gotten a citation. He had some drugs on him, but he had swallowed those. But it didn't have to be that. He did everything wrong. And
No.
we tell too many people now culturally to do everything wrong because, slavery. And it's like, give me a freaking break.
All right. Well, let me get back to something back on our speed here. Or I should say my speed with KMS and I guess the whole network stuff. Where are you at with Mutt in his whole situation? I mean, I know you're probably a little bit older than Mutt, but somebody who is a quote unquote professional. You're looking for a job. Mutt is somebody looking to get a job in the media. Like what the hell is he doing? Do you agree with his strategy? Do you understand it at all? Like where are you at with that?
No, I think that he's got an emotional hang up where I think that he feels like right now he's Kirk's equivalent, because he comes from, he's a terrestrial radio fan. He thinks those are the bigs, those are the big leagues, terrestrial radio stations with a bunch of studios and where the production guy calls you in to voiceover spots. And you've got real producers and a red on air light and all the mic flags and all the trappings of WEI. And that feels like the big leagues. You've made it, etc. And he's way young to think that because those days are over. And I say this as somebody who's currently in radio for the company Mutt worked for. It's still great and it's a fun, incredible job to do. But this Beyond Average Mick, the Beyond Average podcast is the growing part of the marketplace, And
Right.
so, no, he should, if Dave Portnoy had an interest in talking to Tom Shattuck, of course, and I've got nothing to offer him,
right?
of course,
Yeah.
freaking yes in a second. And obviously, like, if anybody who's doing any kind of broadcasting stuff but Mutt's a sports guy. So that's craziness. If Ben Shapiro wanted to talk to me about being with the Daily Wire, that would
Right.
make sense more. He's not going to talk to me about
Right.
being. But of course, I wouldn't say no. I've already been at professional radio now. I've already been at the pinnacle. No way. I've got kids. I've got 2.5 times as many kids as Mutt has, but still, he's got kids.
So why do you think he's doing this? Why, like, what's his hang up? Like, I mean, what is his real? I mean, I understand he doesn't want to work for Kirk, and they had that issue in Atlanta and all that, but like, it almost sounds like Mutt doesn't think whatever would happen at Barstool would like, fulfill him and it would work. And it sounds like he's willing to go on this other endeavor that nobody knows about. And Kirk's telling him that's not a great idea. And like, hey, it's not going to work. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, why not just take it, or at least take the risk, or at least just have the conversation. It's not even like you're taking the job, just have the conversation.
I know. Well, the other endeavors are things like emceeing events and things
Right.
like, having, symposiums where there's 3 of you up on stage talking about, the Sox, and what they need to do to bolster their pitching, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's the natural thing that radio people 20 years ago when radio was really mattering, especially EEI, that's the kind of things you do. And so those still are like the signs of 20 years ago radio of success, being asked to MC an event or to be part of a panel, etc. And I think that he looks at Barstool and Feidelberg and all these guys and people on Kirk's channel, and he says, "Oh no, they're not doing real stuff. They're effing around podcasting, and it's not real. It's not legit." Somehow, and I don't know how he doesn't get it, but maybe he's just in love with that medium. But the idea
Yeah.
to not talk to Dave freaking Portnoy,
And you got Kirk throwing you the softball too. That's the whole point. Like, even if it didn't go well, if it went really bad, I think it still would go well for him because it would something that Dave could look back on, like, what was that idiot doing here that day? Like, what was going on here? And like, it was something he would remember, just leave an impression on him. That's really it.
and I think that's what it is. I think that Mutt thinks that he's a little better than the Minifans. I think that he's afraid to be put in the Clemmer template because Clemmer's kind of a quirky guy. And Dave looked at him and said, "Okay, this guy's effed up. He'll be a good bit of content because he's a spectacle. We'll bring him in here." And I think,
I think there's something to that. Yeah, I definitely
he's
see that.
above that. He's a thinking broadcaster with a real resume, and he doesn't want to be seen as somebody's a full-time in-house clown, especially when Kirk. I mean, Dave obviously is up here, but Kirk's right down here. Kirk is like he's respected by Kirk's a big made guy over there, and Mutt wouldn't be. Mutt would be like the equivalent of Clemmer,
right? I think Mutt could do what Clemmer does on some of those shows too, just like a chair in the room, contributing. Like I think he could go on just that. When I say Mutt could do any show, like I'm not saying he could drive any show, but he could contribute to a lot of shows. If it's gambling, if it's just talking whatever. I feel like Kirk jokes about how he's not talented, but like Mutt's a pretty personable guy. I feel like he's been on air so much where it's like I think he can just be part of a conversation. I'm not saying he's going to be driving it, but he can be part of it.
You're totally right. You're totally right there. And he proved in Portland that he can like be part of it and kill it.
Right. Exactly.
He came out, doing the Bust a Move. He had 1,000 horsepower energy going. I was like,
yeah, he did.
He's fearless. He's fearless. And I agree with you. Like he could be a great part of something like Rat Race or whatever if they wanted him to be with Clemmer in New York City. I know he doesn't want to move, but you can do a local version of that stuff. And Kirk wants to help him so much. Kirk could probably write the scripts for all these things.
I think he'd love to, right? I think if Mutt was serious about getting into like I think that's really what it is. Does he want to dive in and make himself look like an idiot at times? Like, I think that's something he's not willing to do.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I mean, I'm older than Mutt, and I'm obviously you don't get to. We don't make enough money to say no to things.
Yeah, especially that type of opportunity, right?
Right. Barstool is still growing. It's a huge company. It's ridiculous. It should be. I mean, if Portnoy wanted to talk to you,
oh my God, come on, of course.
What concerns? If Dave said, "Do you have any concerns, Mick?" What would you say to him?
No. What can I? No, I don't. No. What do you need me to do? That would be my concern. What do you need me to do to not piss you off? That'd be it.
Exactly. And that's what that's what it is. And I don't get it. I think I've never met him. Never met Mutt. I've heard that he's like the best guy in the business.
Yeah, he's great. Every time I've met him, he's been great to me. So he always he just seems like a genuinely good guy. So I'm rooting for him no matter what. But yeah, we'll see where that goes with Mutt. I have Gus coming on here in a little bit. So do you have anything else for us, Tom? I don't want to keep you too long.
No, I am honored to be opening for Gus though, because I felt like when the Beatles and Elvis got together, although I'm not any of these. I guess I'm like just a groupie in this. To have like whiskey and some kind of bourbon with Gus at 2 a.m. along with Tim and Canton was just absolutely. I felt like I was in a power room. It was my pleasure to do it.
You're officially a made Minifan then, if that's the case. If you've done that.
Ooh, I'll take it. Love it.
Hey, well, thanks for jumping on, my man. I appreciate it. I know I was going to get to you last week and you rescheduled, so I do appreciate that. And you're welcome on here anytime.
Anytime, Mick. This is exciting. Looking forward to the ascension of Mick.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Hold on, Mick. I have a prediction.
Please.
I have a prediction. There will be an empty producer seat by July 4th, 2024.
Really?
Yep.
And who's filling that?
Well, I might be looking at him right now, as a matter of fact.
I don't know where that guy is. I don't see him. Take it easy, man. Tom Shattuck, ladies and gentlemen. We love him. Great guy. What a talent. All honesty, thank you for joining me, because that was I have too much planned for tonight. So let's call the goose. I know it's a slow show tonight, folks. Everybody relax. I don't want to do the thing where I was telling him in the hospital and all that, but like, do you really want to hear that? Do you want to know that? It's been a long fucking week, okay? It's been a long week. Let's call the goose. Let's end the week right. Let's end the week right.
Hello.
The goose, what is happening? Tell us where you are. What's going on? Set the scene. NFL draft party. What's happening?
Oh, Jesus. It's not a draft party. It's like a reception party. I got a phone call. I'll be right back. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to move out of my way. I'm trying to watch the draft here. The Patriots, did they take me yet? No, but I'm at some brewery in Minneapolis.
Okay.
I'm meeting all my wife's friends for the first time. So I don't know if they like me or not, if they see a future with us, but I hope they do.
You don't know if they see a future with you. All right. Okay.
But I'll be honest with you right now, I just ditched the entire party just to make sure the Patriots are either going to take Drake May or Marvin Harrison.
What are we looking at right now? Because I'm live on the show, so I can't see anything. Are they on the clock?
So we're on the clock.
Okay.
No surprises. Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2.
Okay. How much time the Pats have?
Oh no, ticks in.
All right, you stay, Gus. You're announcing the pick live on the air. We have to do that.
I will probably do a better job than Goodell. So we all know.
What would you do if you were the Pats?
I mean, honestly, if I'm the Pats, I trade down here, try to get one of the other teams to bite up, probably the Giants, and then work your way up. Trade back into 5 with the Chargers. Take J.J. McCarthy and get yourself a wide receiver and 2 top 10 picks.
Wow.
That's what I would have done. But they're going to pick Drake May, which is good. We got a quarterback.
I think you got to take the kid. You got to take the talent.
It's official. Drake May's official.
It's official.
Pick him in. Drake May. I like it.
Announce it. UNCQB, Gus. Give me the official announcement right now. Go.
With the 3rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Patriots select quarterback Drake May, North Carolina.
There you
go. This kid's a stud. He's got an arm. Honestly, it's like I will give Patriots fans hope here because you had Brady. You needed a quarterback after Brady, but you got Cam Newton, and you needed a quarterback after that just to do a complete talent cleanse with Mac Jones. And now we got Drake May. Now, Drake May should sit for a year. Patriots get another top 5 pick, and then you kind of build a line around them, and then we're good for years to come. So I want to see another year of suckage from the Patriots, and then we come back and rally. That's what I would say.
All right. And let me ask you this, Gus. How long until they are back in the AFC title game, the New England Patriots?
4 years.
All right. You heard it there first.
But they have to come in last place in the division the next year. They have to come in last place in the division next year and get another top 5 pick.
Okay.
If they don't do that, they'll be stuck in mediocrity forever. And nobody wants to be in mediocrity.
That's right, buddy. Okay, get back to your party, Gus. Thank you very much. Great.
I got to get back. My wife is going to kill me now. Thank you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Like, is really like him. What else do we have? I mean, I was going to talk about the Coleman and Mutt stuff and some of the Jeff D. Lowe stuff, but we'll save that for a later date. We'll save my thoughts on Jeff D. Lowe for maybe next week. Yeah, it's really all we got tonight, folks. Like I said, I'm a little beat, a little tired. Sorry about the slow show here. I know we're going for like 30, 35 minutes. Next week we have, what was it? I'm going on KMS. I think I'm doing KMS at some point next week. I don't know when, but we'll do a show whatever day I don't do KMS, probably Tuesday, and then also on Thursday. So we'll be back next week. I'll talk to you then. Take it easy.